to the Volunteers of Tennessee. Looking at their schedule, looking at 2026, we talked about, and Chunks brought it up past couple of weeks about them going to be bringing in a new quarterback, no matter who it is. They're going to be new. Joey Aguilar is gone. You still got Josh Heupel there. You're bringing in Jim Knowles. You're bringing in new strength and conditioning coach Derek Owens. Maybe change the mentality of that team. But you can look at this schedule right here. Now, FanDuel has them going at 7-5, and we'll start it out with Chunk. But Chunk, what do you kind of see in the first couple games there that you got Georgia Tech in game 2, and of course Texas coming into your house on September 26th, man. What do you think about that game, those couple games, those first 4 there? What's your thoughts?
Man, in my heart, Adam, I want to say over on this, but I feel like if by, week 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5, by Texas, if we don't see any improvement there, like establishment at our quarterback, man, the rest of the season could get ugly for us. It could be ugly. But, anyways, 7.5 there. I feel like, that's being, gracious, on our behalf.
You really think so? You really think they can't go higher?
I want to say no, buddy. I think 7.5 is about right for us. But anyways, just I think that the first week there, playing Furman. If what I would do is I would let all of my quarterbacks, George McIntyre, Ryan Staub, and Faison Brandon. I would say, look, each one of y'all are playing a quarter, and I want to see what you can do in a quarter of the game. Because, you're going into Georgia Tech, buddy. Georgia Tech the next week with these young guns, these young, players, man. What can they do? We don't know. We've got to see what they can do that first game. Now, if we happen to pull it out, the win of Georgia Tech, then I'd be a little bit more comfortable. Like, hey, we're starting to establish things now. We're starting to come together. But if we don't, dude, by the time we get to Texas, it's going to be a train wreck the rest of the season. I hate to say that, but I'm just speaking with my heart. And, I want to say, we're going to go, 9-3, 9-4. I just don't see that happening this year, buddy.
Well, to think about it, too, just talking about the first couple of games there, with what you're talking about doing at quarterback, do you really think they have the luxury of being able to do that with Georgia Tech on the schedule? Or do you think that you need whoever is going to be that quarterback to get that game time experience? You need them in there 2 quarters, 3 quarters, that way they can be ready for Georgia Tech, because you don't want to just mix them in and out the whole game, because if you're only playing a quarter at a time, you got to go play 4 quarters against a very good Brent Key defensive team the next week. You know what I mean? So you've got to be ready for that. So I don't know if you're going to have the luxury of sitting down and saying, hey, we're going to play you. We're going to play you. I think you got to go out there and you've got to play that quarterback at least a half, if not more, to get them ready for the Georgia Tech game.
And that's the whole thing about this Ron Stop. See, I can't, imagine why did, Josh Heupel bring Ron Staub into the equation? Because he's got more playing time. He's played more, so he could say, look, Ron, get out there. Ron, play. Because, you've got way more experience than George McIntyre, who's only played 2 games last season. So I believe you're right there, but I would like to see something, the upcoming spring practice game that's coming April 11th. That would be great if we could, get something set there with a quarterback. But
you kind of hope that that's right. We kind of hope they're almost talking about a quarterback competition, but you really hope internally that there's really no competition. That everybody's going to say, we don't know who the starter's going to be, but Heupel knows. You hope that's the case.
I've got to say, Josh Heupel, being a former Heisman Trophy quarterback, I don't see him not having a for sure QB1 by Furman. And then see how he does. For your sake, you would hope he performs really well, and then goes into that Georgia Tech game with, hey, this is for sure my QB1, and we think he's going to get the job done.
Mhm.
And I think that's the way that you ought to be looking at it, because I'd see them going at least 8-4.
That's
From
what
what
I
I
think too. We'll break
Yeah.
it down, but I see more of an 8-4 than I do a 7-5.
Yeah.
So we can go through it if you guys want to.
We'll
So
break
let's
it down.
say we got Furman first. I mean, unless it's Georgia Tech or Georgia State situation, they're coming there and getting that money. Unless that happens again, which I don't see. I don't see that happening to Josh Heupel team. We're gonna say that first one is a W. But now looking at Georgia Tech, you got to go to Atlanta. Now, I don't know if that's the toughest place to play. I mean, Michael, you've been there a couple of times. I mean,
Yes.
what are your thoughts about going at Georgia Tech?
Well, when my brother and I went a few years back, we went to that Georgia Tech game to end the season. And then we had the SEC championship game we were looking forward to the next weekend. So I don't think Georgia Tech's a tough place to play at all. I think it was a lot of Georgia fans, actually, I really do. So for me, I think Brent is trying to get things going in the right direction down there, but he's also doing it at the same time that Josh Heupel is. So to me, it's like who's done a better job at what they're supposed to do? Is it Josh Heupel or is it Brent Keys? And I do think Tennessee will get that done. And I'm not going to pick Georgia Tech anyways, even though I don't like. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a Tennessee fan by any means either, but I'm definitely not a Georgia Tech fan. I hope you go in there and beat them anyway.
You had us convinced, everybody.
You know what? I'll give them the benefit of a doubt. I'll say, okay, we play Furman, we beat them, a pretty good amount. Then I would feel more comfortable going to Georgia Tech. So I will say a win there, depending on what game one looks like. So I'll say a
depending
win
on the quarterback. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
I would say a win too. Now, I mean, but now we think about it. Clemson went there last year. They went to Georgia Tech, 12:00 kickoff, and went there and lost. So I mean, the good teams that come in there and left with L's, over the years. But you hope that Tennessee, as an SEC fan, would go in there and take care of business against the ACC.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then you got I think that's Kennesaw State, another little close to home team there that comes up to Knoxville next week. We're all thinking there's a W there. Are we circling that game?
They'll win that game.
Yeah.
Okay, then you
And
got the Battle of the Orange, son.
Well, that's the one I'm most excited about. That's the one that I'm personally most excited about as a Georgia fan, because you guys are playing for who the real UT is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I'm less of a Texas fan. I don't like Texas. I just don't.
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys get that done at home. But I don't know if y'all do. That's the one I have a question mark beside for me.
Yeah.
And I'll let you guys have the deciding vote on if we're going to put a W or an L beside that. But for me, man, that's a huge question mark. It's a huge question mark on what Texas is able to do with all that oil money. I mean, God forbid they should be able to do something.
Yeah.
And then you got Tennessee, who's trying to do something too. Again, it's like, who has done a better job, Josh Heupel or Steve Sarkisian? So I'll let you guys have the deciding vote on it.
Look here, Michael. So we're battling for the real UT and the real shade of orange. So, but look, I want to say this. If we beat Texas, that's with a big if. If we beat Texas, then I believe the rest of our schedule will be, pretty good. But I got to put a question mark on that because I don't know yet. But I think we'll probably lose to that game, man. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Because just knowing Steve Sarkisian, Texas, man, and Arch, man,
Well, you got one or two ways, okay? Last year, Ohio State, when Texas played them, if you remember, they went up to Ohio State and they lost that game. Well, you got to think about it. Texas has to play Ohio State again. Whoever wins that game is probably going to be the number one team in the country. But a good thing for Tennessee, they play, I think, week 1 or 2.
Oh, wow.
It's either week 1 or 2. So they play again, but they're playing in Austin this time.
Yeah.
So, but here's the question mark. Are they playing? They may. I think they played Ohio State. I'm pretty sure. they play Ohio State.
That's a big game.
It could be Michigan, but I'm pretty sure it's Ohio State.
I'll look that up.
Okay, but I'm thinking right here, though. This is what I'm trying to say is that last year Texas lost that game. And if you remember, a couple weeks later, they went to Florida and lost that game. So could that be kind of the same scenario they'll be in this upcoming year? Even if they win at Ohio State, that big first road game they played against Florida, could that be favoring in Tennessee's favor? Because like we've talked about, Neyland is a hard place to play. It don't matter who you are.
Ohio State is week 2 for them.
Week 2, okay.
Wow.
So it could be that same scenario of if they lose that game against Ohio State. We're not sure on that. I'm not picking that game tonight, but if they was to lose to Ohio State, do they come to Neyland like they came to Florida last year, or do they learn from what happened at Florida last year and they come in there and get that win? Now, me personally, I would say more than likely because of the talent and the way Steve has to win this year, they are in a must-win mode. This is probably a loss on my book too. Just speaking as it from Texas, over all things, needs it more than Tennessee does. I think Texas is going to play every game like life or death this year, because that's just way. It's not like you're on the hot seat, top of heat. It's more like a competitive heat that Sarkisian's fighting this year, every week. So he can't afford to go in and Neyland and lose that game.
And we had Steve Sarkisian in that warm category. So it's the nail on the head, man. He's got to get something done, and he's made a lot of big time changes, bringing in Will Muschamp and trying to duplicate the success that Kirby Smart has had, especially in my opinion, going to get Will Muschamp.
I'm telling you right now, man, if they come in, let's say this happens right here, and let's play this out. Devil's advocate, it's spring. Let's say they lose to Ohio State. Okay. 2 weeks later, they come in and Neyland and lose. That could be a James Franklin scenario right there.
Yeah, I agree.
That the next week, Sark is out because you got Cam Coleman, you got Hollywood Smothers, you've got Arch Manning, you've got that defense returning. I mean,
because their schedule has Texas State, Ohio State, UTSA, and then Tennessee. So, man, you're right on the money there. If they lose to both their big-time opponents right out the gate and they're 2-2, Steve Sarkisian might be on the unemployment list.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, they're spending the money. They want it this year. This is a year we got to have it here. So
they got Will Muschamp, man, and when he was at Florida, man, it's just hard to beat Will Muschamp.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, it's a loss.
Well, Will Muschamp was on Georgia's sidelines when we went to that Georgia versus Texas game at the SEC championship a few years back. Will Muschamp was on our sideline. And I guess Steve Sarkisian really liked what he saw and was like, I think we need this guy. And I think that was a big part of the reason he went out to get him.
Yeah, I think, like I said, this is a make or break year for Texas. If they don't win the whole thing, it's considered a bust. It's that big for Texas this year. If they don't literally win the national championship this season, it'll be a disappointment. So, like I say, we're thinking it's 3-0 for Tennessee, and then we're thinking week 4 is going to be an L. Is that what you guys are thinking?
Yeah.
Probably,
yeah.
So let's just say they lose to Texas right there. We were talking it up, but we still think they may lose that one to Texas. Now, hey, we come into the real season. Hey, that one's going to be a good one to talk about right there. Yeah. So now let's see. It looks like Auburn's coming to your house. This is another team that we all have in common. We're all playing Auburn. Poor Auburn. They got to play Tennessee, Georgia, and Bama. So what do you guys think right here? Do you think that Alex Golesh comes up to Neyland playing his former team and can get a W?
Yeah, I think, Alex Golesh, man, he knows everything about Tennessee. Just coaching with Josh Heupel, man. I'm going to say that's a loss right there for us. I believe that, I got to say that's a loss.
You're going to have Tennessee fans jumping all over you.
Hey, I'm a realist, man. I'm a realist.
Well, that's good, but I don't know. Again, my perspective on that, you got a year one guy. and I'm going to kind of go in your favor here, Chunk. You got a year one guy with Alex Golesh going into Auburn. The expectations at Auburn have to be very low. But guess what the expectations are at Tennessee? Hey, you have to do something, Josh Heupel. So to me, I think that's what the deciding factor of that game is. I think y'all could get that done there. I think y'all could, especially if Texas rolls into Neyland, rolls up into Knoxville and beats you. Mm-hmm. And then you lose the very next week to Auburn. I don't see it.
No. No, I don't either, and I don't. I think that's a W myself. I'm going to put that down as a W. If you think it's one, and I think it's one, even though the Tennessee fan says it's L, I think that's a win. I think that's a win right there. I think Tennessee has too much. Even if they do lose or if they do win, I think Heupel's got it figured out, and I think they're going to beat Auburn, especially him being a first-year coach at Auburn. That's only week 5. They got a lot of talent, but I don't think by that point we're going to know really who Auburn is. So I think that's going to be a W right there. So
Yeah.
Then you got old Pig Suey here with old Arkansas. A couple years ago, Tennessee went out there and they lost Arkansas.
Yeah.
You remember? So I mean, it's not like it's the easiest game, but compared to what Arkansas has been, they got a first-year coach coming in. What do you guys think about this game? Do you guys think it's an easy win, or do you think it's a struggle win?
I think it's going to be it's not going to be an easy win. It'll be a struggle win for sure. But with that new coach coming in, I feel like they don't have everything developed. So that's going to be a great win for us over the road. And that's what's going to lead us in coming back home. I don't want to jump ahead, but that's going to pump us up coming back home for that Alabama game. So I'm going to say that's a win for Tennessee against Arkansas.
Yeah. I think they get it done there too.
Yep. Well, let me say this. Now we're going to the Bama game. Let's just say Arkansas is a W, but and not really going back to it. But when you have Bama coming in, and you've got Arkansas right there, could that be a trap game for Tennessee?
That definitely.
And we're looking ahead to Alabama. They're coming to town.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a trap game for them?
I mean,
that's the
a
only
good
thing you
question.
hope not. But
It's
there.
Yeah.
It's always that way.
Be. It definitely could be a trap game looking ahead. I just don't know if that's going to be that could be a scary. That could be a scary situation for any team. Every team does that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're going to nine conference games. I mean, you look at it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken about this, I mean, Tennessee plays all their out of conference in the first 3 games. The rest of it's all SEC.
Yeah, you're right.
If I'm looking at that right.
Yep.
I mean, it's all SEC after that. So I mean, Tennessee. I mean, they're going to have a road ahead of them.
Yeah.
You know, going into this year. But let's just look at the Alabama game. So I'm thinking it's an L on my part. I think Bama comes in there after the 2 times of trying to beat Tennessee in 22 and 24. Tennessee's beating us. That's kind of what Chunk's going after. But I'm thinking we come in and handle business this time. I think Kalen DeBoer just has too much he needs to prove, especially coming off Georgia. Whether that's a win or a loss with Georgia, I think you got to come into Neyland and be ready, and they're going to be ready to play that game. And I think they get out of there with a W, and Tennessee takes an L for that game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think
that's a win. Just like I said earlier. I mean, I know you think it's a loss, but I think that's the turning point for Tennessee for me. I think with that over the road win for Arkansas, now we're established at quarterback right now. So that's what's going to make the rest of the schedule, I think going to be better for us. But I got to say a win right there, buddy.
Okay. What do you think, Mike? You got the side and vote.
I don't know, man. I think that one's going to be a tough one to pick. Like I say, especially this far out. But I don't know. I was on your side, Chunk, earlier with Auburn. That was a little bit easier to be on your side, but I don't know if I'm going to be for this one. That might be your second loss so far in our predictions here.
Yeah, that's the second loss I see.
Which keeps you on par, man, for 7-5. That's good.
Well, we look here, so there's no bye week up to this point. And now the week before your bye week, so you're beaten up, you're tired, you're not well rested. And now you're going to South Carolina.
Yeah, where you got to deal with that. Where you got to deal with that stupid music and the towel.
And last time they ran out of fireworks on them, son.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Remember
that's
that?
bulletin board material right there. Don't let them run out of fireworks this time.
Well, hey, look, guys. This game right here.
You got to say it's crazy.
Look. This game right here is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And I believe we get the win over them. And Shane Beamer is out of there at this point. He's gone.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee gets the win there, too. That's a hard place to play. Bama was just there last year. You know, that's one of Michael's biggest rivals. He knows South Carolina's a tough place to play.
Oh yeah.
But I do think Tennessee goes in there and gets a W right there.
Yeah,
You
the
think
last
anything
time. Well, the last time that Georgia lost at home prior to this past year, Georgia had a really, really good win streak going at home, was to South Carolina. So man, and that's at Georgia. So that team can be the boogeyman when it wants to be and show up and just ruin somebody's season. They never seem to do very good for their own season, but they can ruin other people's season for
That's
sure.
the thing. But they always seem to get up when they
Yeah.
need to. You know,
Yeah.
like they'll play really bad against like just a nobody, but they are like, you know, I don't want to say nobody, but like a Missouri, they'll look horrible. They get blown up by 28. The next week you play Bama or Tennessee, man, you're competitive at least.
Yeah.
It's just like their biggest fight is against consistency as well.
Yeah.
You know? So, but were we all thinking that's a W right there
That's a W.
against South Carolina? Okay, so then you got your bye week. Now you come in and you're facing University of Kentucky at home. You know, that's probably Tennessee's biggest rival. Last year you took care of business, but that's with Mark Stoops. Now you got Will Stein coming from Oregon with Kentucky coming to your guys' house. What do you think about that one right there, Chunk?
I'm going to have to say it's going to be a win, buddy. I mean, they've got a new coach. I think they got a quarterback coming in there. But, you know, Tennessee is just Tennessee. We always beat Kentucky. You know, we hardly ever I better not eat my words, but we hardly ever lose to Kentucky. But I said that about Vandy last year too. We got blitzed.
28.
We got blitzed by them. So I'm just going to go with my heart with this one here. I'm going to say that's a win. You know, just because of the win at South Carolina and the same situation with the whole Alabama thing coming back from Arkansas, I feel like that's going to, you know, keep us all hopped up, you know, and we just pull out that win against Kentucky there.
Yeah, and you're going to be rested up. I mean, you're going to have a bye week before that game.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And you're really gonna need that rest because good night, man. After that Kentucky game, it doesn't look good, my friend.
No, back to back, son.
And this might be when we get into where we see the 8-4 coming from.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So if we mark down that Kentucky's a W, you've got Texas A&M, which, like we said last year, was very good. More of a
Texas A&M, which is a big deal.
Yeah, you got going two there. You remember that game? I want to say that was 2016, man. That was a classic there. You remember that? Tennessee lost that game, but man, that was a good ball game.
Well, I think, you know, I hate to say it, man, but we're going to succumb to those cowbells, buddy. I think they're going to give into the pressure.
No cowbells.
No, that's Mississippi State. My bad. But no. Texas A&M, man.
12th man.
Yeah, the 12th man. Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, yeah, they don't do the cowbells, but they call themselves the home of the 12th man. And when they play Texas or a big time opponent, they need that 12th man on the field.
Right.
And
he never
it
comes
still
around.
That's
what I meant. That's a loss. That's a loss for us, guys.
Yeah,
I got that as a loss.
Okay, so now we get to this one. Lane Kiffin in one season has to go to both his old teams. Mm-hmm. And man, the amount of golf balls and mustard that's going to be thrown at him is just mind-boggling. I mean, I know the state of Tennessee, you guys are a big Food City state, so I guess Food City is going to be sold out of mustard. I mean, y'all are going to bring every bottle of mustard that's in that store for that next game, November 21st.
Yes, sir.
They'll be throwing golf balls, mustard, and other things we won't describe on the podcast.
Okay, so let's get to that. What do you think? How do you think that unfolds, Chunk? Year one for Lane Kiffin at LSU, rolling into Knoxville.
I believe we're going to play our hardest this game just to prove a point against Lane Kiffin. But knowing him, buddy, that's a loss for us. I mean, I hate to say it. At this point, we're already established at quarterback as a team. We're playing our heart outs, but we're wore out because of the schedule we had to play. It's been a gauntlet for us. And then I believe Lane Kiffin comes in there and just, puts it on us, man. We lose. We got a loss on that game.
At 7 consecutive SEC games up to that point.
Yeah.
That'd be the eighth. That'd be the eighth one. I mean, I don't care what you say, man. That's like an NFL. That's like an NFL schedule. That's just beat up after beat up, and you're not playing
Yeah.
slack teams, really. I mean, you're playing Bama, you're playing Auburn, you're playing Texas, you're playing South Carolina. I mean, now you're playing A&M.
Now, where is
You're gonna play
Florida?
LSU.
Well, yeah, Florida's one of those guys or those teams that y'all don't have on the schedule now.
Right.
No,
No.
I think it's. I think their regular three is going to be Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Bama.
Man, I just can't
That's
believe
the rotating.
I can't believe that y'all dropped Georgia and Florida. I think that's crazy. Because for
Yeah.
us living in this area, especially living in this area, that's the biggest rival
Yes.
to Georgia that we've had for years. And I'm really going to miss having that game on the schedule every year to look forward to.
I mean, that in Florida too, buddy. I mean, that was it was a fun game to watch, man. It's a big rivalry, Florida and you guys.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks.
And since
Yeah.
we both hate Florida, we can get on this subject. I'm really glad that the last time you guys played Florida, y'all went to Gainesville and beat them, which y'all haven't done in a very long time.
Mhm.
That's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, give him his cookie and milk. That's a good
Yeah.
thing.
That's a good thing.
Good, you
I
good
mean,
boy.
As we're dissecting the schedule and only giving you 8 wins, man, I figured I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, he's a good
Appreciate
boy.
you.
So, what do you think right there? Are y'all saying LSU is a loss?
Yeah.
Everybody?
We lost. Yeah.
That's another one I have a question mark beside, but I'll let you guys decide because I'm not a huge Lane Kiffin fan, so I wouldn't mind to see Tennessee
Yeah.
just give it to them right there and make the entire LSU fan base go, oh man, did we make a mistake here? Can we send Lane Kiffin packing and now just go for whoever? But I don't know. Maybe that's a
Well,
big.
my heart says the same thing. Like, I want to give them that W out there, and that would put them at I mean, if they beat Vanderbilt, it'd be 9-3.
Yeah.
So that puts them at 9 wins right there. Or sorry, 8 wins. 8 wins right there.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do? You want to say it's a W?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, that's
we'll
a
put 'em
loss.
as a-
He's
I
saying
wanna-
loss.
well, we're
Oh,
being the
Vanderbilt.
tiebreaker.
Vanderbilt's a win for us, but LSU's lost.
Well, I'll let you say it then. I was going to put an L. Or a W, I'm sorry. I will put an L because the Tennessee fan told me to. But so Vanderbilt, like we talked about before, Clark Lee coming in there, Jared Curtis possibly being the starter. We don't know that for sure. By this point, it don't matter if you're a freshman or not. If you've come through all these games and you're still starting, you ain't a freshman no more.
Right.
Week 4 or 5, it's a freshman. You come through a gauntlet of SEC schedule and you're a freshman and you're the last game of the regular season, you ain't a freshman no more. So
Yeah.
Vanderbilt coming to town. Let's say they are starting Jared Curtis at quarterback. You guys are going to Vanderbilt. I apologize for
Right.
that. You're going to Vanderbilt. So you're going to Nashville with Jared Curtis as the quarterback, possibly Clark Lee's team. They did beat you guys last year. Are you thinking that it's going to be a vengeance game, Chunk, or what you think?
It is. It definitely is. It's going to be, hey, you humiliated us last year at home. Now we've got something to prove. We're coming with the vengeance, and I believe we're going to pull that win out there at Vanderbilt because of that reason.
There you go. You pull that V right out of that star.
Yep.
So that's our vengeance.
That's right.
So what do you think, Mike? That's a W out there, buddy?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I would hope so for my buddy Chunk's sake that they don't lose to Vanderbilt 2 years in a row.
Right.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Have y'all ever lost to Vanderbilt twice in a row? I mean, it's been a long time, ain't it? If ever.
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't believe so. I would hope not.
No.
Since you've been watching football, you don't think you've lost them consecutively?
I don't think so.
Not that I can remember either. I don't know if I've ever seen
No,
it.
not that I can remember.
All
I
right,
always put
so-
a W on my calendar for that. So
Oh, geez. Disrespect. No, but so then, all right. So now looking over it, we've got them going 8-4. It looks like with a loss against Texas, a loss against Alabama, a loss against LSU and A&M. So that's what we got. Tennessee going 8-4. So I mean, I think that's realistic. I think that is realistic for Tennessee. Now they
That
could
is,
come
yeah.
in and win one of those games. We said it's going to be a loss and easily be 9-3. And if you do that with this amount of schedule, I mean, you're probably a playoff team being 9-3. To me, at that point, 8-4, you're probably still on the bubble. But if you get a big win against LSU or A&M, especially at the end of the season, because God forbid, we know that it's not a what you've done; it's what you done for me lately with this committee. If you lose to Texas at the beginning, I mean, you go in and you beat A&M or LSU, and you get that, look what you've done for me lately. I think that really gives Tennessee a bump to get into that playoff scenario. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.